Hey guys!
Hello Nancy Frothers!
We have a little story to tell you that wasn't included in the last video. It was quite a hectic moment. Things weren't charged and we weren't able to capture what happened, but we thought we'd tell you the story.
Yeah, it all dates back to when we entered into Jayapura under motor and how we had exhaust issues. And so entering into Sarong we had the same problem, and we wanted to fix our exhaust there in Sarong, so we had Wick, the English-speaking man there, who was be able to help us to get stainless steel and get it fabricated. Yeah,
so we were told that the weather's quite calm in this bay, and that if the wind does pick up, it's only lasts for like half an hour or so. We had really calm days, beautiful days. We needed to take the exhaust off, and we only needed it off for one night, but the problem is it disables the motor. So we just needed calm weather for one night, and lo and behold.
And where we were anchored, we were open to the west, but it's in the middle of the southeast trade season, so if the wind does pick up, you're only expecting it to blow from the east or the south, not from the west. And sure enough, that evening we got 30 to 40 knots at anchor. Yeah.
Of course this happens, our exhaust pipe is off, so the motor is disabled, and we've had this storm roll through, and we're dragging. We've never dragged with our new anchor ever, but this is the first time, and of course it's the wrong time. And so the bay that we were anchored in about 20 meters, and then there's a reef that starts, and it continues on for a long way, gradually increasing up to 3 meters. And so we ended up dragging until Nanji was just over the 3 meter reef, and she was bucking, slamming up and down. 3 meters and 1 meter, then 3 meters and 1 meter. And it was high tide, so the water over that reef is expected to drop.
Yeah, throughout the night we're actually really lucky, because there's the small tides and the big tides. The big tide was during the day and the small tide was during the night. And so it only dropped like 30 centimetres overnight, but the following day it was due to drop like 1.5 meters of fluctuation. So with that 1.5 meters of fluctuating, Nanji would have been sitting on the reef come daylight hours. So yeah. All night I stayed at watch, or I had like an hour sleep here, or 15 minutes, you know, and just kept waking up, just monitoring the wind and see where we were and how we were swinging.
Yeah, and then we messaged Wick, because we're not mechanics, we've never, you know, taken the exhaust off and started the motor before, and so we asked what his opinion was, and he said as long as there aren't flames coming out of the engine, then you should be okay to run it for a little bit of time without that exhaust. So,
of course it's going to sound like a beast.
Oh,
run.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
it was horrible. Scary. So, okay, so the thing is, so we needed to get the anchor up, and normally we don't have a windlass, so Yosh needed to pick it up by hand, and normally it takes like 20 minutes or so to get that anchor up, and we only had maybe 10 minutes of motoring that we could do with this engine. So
yeah, I managed to muscle up a fair bit of length. I shortened up the chain anyway, because we're in 3 meters, so I shortened up the chain hoping we'd get into deeper water, but that didn't really happen. So yeah, we motored over, we picked up the chain luckily enough, tied the tender onto the side so we could manoeuvre Nanji.
Yep.
All we wanted to do was we used the motor of Nanji to pick up the anchor, to dislodge it, because it was wedged in the reef. We weren't going anywhere, but so we had to pick up the anchor out of the reef, and then the howling wind is just pushing the bow of Nanji towards the land though, so we needed the tender to then spin the bow around so we could get a head sail out and sail out, and yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah, it was so crazy. We started the motor without the exhaust pipe on. That was like so...
Yeah.
All the smoke's just going in the boat, and it just sounds horrible.
Yeah, couldn't give it any load.
So I think we set the timer, and we said, okay, we can use it for 10 minutes like this, and that's it. That's all we can do. So I think we used it for 8 minutes, because we ended up,
Yeah, and then so we poked it out. We got a head sail out, and we got the main up.
When we were dragging, we were looking at this barge that was across from us, and we're using it as like as a marker, you know, as a reference point. The barge ended up dragging and ended up smashing up onto the rocks. So
yeah, at one stage there was a tugboat kicking around, just I guess because of that reason, in case something dragged, and he seen that we were in the shallower water, so they'd come over and they were shining their big torch on us, and I was up on the bow like, yeah, over here, come give us a rope, and it looked like they were negotiating how they're going to get in there. I don't know what they draw, but obviously it was pretty shallow for them as well. And then sure enough we look over and there's like, oh, that barge is on the rocks, and
so yeah, they left us,
they noticed it too,
yeah,
bailed us.
Yeah. So we ended up, yeah, just sailing around the ships that were in the area, and then we ended up finding a new re-anchoring, and it was okay after that. But I'm never doing that again, not even for half an hour. Like, if we're going to disable the boat, I want to be on a mooring, or, you know,
or in the marina.
Or in a marina. Like, lesson learned. We
had the option of going into the marina, into Wick's Marina, but it's like 4 miles up the river, so we would have had to motor up there, we would have had to smoke everything out, and I just didn't want to run the motor basically with the old exhaust on, just because it was vibrating and causing more damage than what it was worth. So
yeah.
We figured that, well, the weather looks calm, it was blue skies when we made this decision in the morning or lunchtime, and yeah, took the exhaust off, and sure enough that evening, in she came.
Yes.
So, lesson learned.
Never a dull moment on the boat, is there?
If you disable your boat, make sure it ain't going anywhere.
So that's the story. And we're still in Indonesia at the moment. We need to leave the country because we need to do a visa run. So we're in tomorrow. We'll be sailing to Timor-Leste. So
yeah, we'll be going out to sea for 4 days or so, sailing across the trade winds. We should have them on the beams.
Yeah.
On the beam basically says it's going to be upwind.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how we go.
Pretty exciting
a
sail,
decent
I think.
forecast.
Yeah.
It'll be good to have wind and just the two of us again. So we'll be moving. All right, sweet.
All right, see you guys.
Catch
Thank
you,
you.
legends.
Bye bye.